Good evening, folks. Erik Proseus, MemphisWeather.net meteorologist, and I wanted to bring you a short update tonight on where we stand with regards to the severe weather threat that we've been anticipating most of this week and what the overnight hours look like. And so, without further ado, we're going to get right into it here, starting off with just a general overview of what we're expecting tonight. It does look like a few things have changed during the day today, especially with regards to the potential for severe weather this evening and into the late evening hours. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But right now, as of this recording, shortly before 8 o'clock p.m. on Thursday night, March 3rd, it looks like our best chance for severe storms is going to be with what we will call the main line of storms that is expected to move through along the cold front tomorrow morning. That is late in the night, early Friday morning. Right now, the timing we are calling for is between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. And it looks like right here in the city of Memphis, it is probably going to be around 6 to 8 a.m., 6 to 7 a.m., maybe as late as 8. So we're getting into about the sunrise time period into rush hour tomorrow morning when this line is going to be moving through. We will see a cold front along that line, and we do have an enhanced risk of severe weather that is posted. It's a level 3 risk that does include the far southwestern part of Shelby County, including the city of Memphis, and points south and west from there. The rest of the area is under a slight risk, a level 2 risk of severe weather. I would not get too worked up over exactly where that boundary is between level 2 and level 3. We all have basically equal chances of severe weather during this time frame tomorrow morning, and that is going to be because of a strong low pressure system that's moving through the state of Arkansas during the overnight hours tonight, and then passing us by to the north during the morning tomorrow. The main severe weather threats with this line that's going to be moving through primarily is going to be damaging wind. It looks like it will be somewhat organized, and so a threat of high wind accompanies this system. The risk of hail is actually pretty low. Can't rule out a little bit of small hail, but you may not be able to tell the difference between the small hail and the torrential rain that is coming down, because I do expect heavy rain with the system as well. And we also cannot rule out the chance of a tornado or two as this line moves through as well. We're going to want to keep an eye on that. So because of the timing, late tonight, early tomorrow morning, it looks like a good part of your overnight will be in decent shape as it looks right now, but you should be ready just in case these storms get here a little bit early in the morning before you would normally wake up, to have your safety plan ready and have multiple ways to get warnings during that time of day. Most likely, a lot of you are going to be at home during that time period, at least the early time portion of it, or you may be starting to get out and about the same time, maybe sending the kids, getting them ready for school and off to school. So just consider that as you are making your plans. Let's take a look at what we think the radar might look like as we go through the overnight hours. This is starting with the 9 p.m. forecast radar from the HRRR, her high-resolution model, and it shows the showers just north of Memphis that have been passing through this evening, moving by to the north. That's already moved through. You see the main action, though, is back here in northeast Texas, moving into Arkansas this evening. There are some scattered showers. They're going to pop up during the evening hours, and could see some lightning and thunder in that. I really don't think this is going to pose much of a severe weather risk. Our instability is still pretty low, so I don't anticipate a lot of severe weather out of that, but we'll can't rule out the possibility of some thunder and lightning in the next few hours up to about midnight. And then you see that at midnight, and this is 1 a.m., that starts to pull off to the north. And we have this line organizing back to our west. Now, the main line that will move through us is actually not quite showing up yet here in eastern Texas, but this is very heavy rain. There's going to be showers and thunderstorms, and this does pose a severe weather risk for portions of southwestern Arkansas and northern Louisiana. The area to the north of us is just a lot of very heavy rain. As this line gets closer, we get towards the 3 a.m. hour here. You see this is approaching the river, so this is the remnants of what was over southern Arkansas that produced severe weather earlier this evening in the Dallas area and moving to the northeast. So I think for the early part of that 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. window, I think most of the threat is going to be to the west of the river, northeast Arkansas, east central Arkansas. A lot of heavy rain, embedded thunderstorms that could produce some severe weather. Now, as we get a little bit closer in time, here's 4 a.m., and we're going to start to see this organize down to our southwest as this rain starts moving across the area and some embedded thunderstorms. We're going to see the low pressure system start to move northeast and this line coming towards us. So we kind of get a little bit of a brief respite, perhaps, if this is correct, around 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. And then we see this line start to organize. And this is 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. And you see it's pretty much right over the Memphis metro area and then moving out by about 9. So the time frame there, again, about 3 to 8, 3 to 9, somewhere in there. And then as that line moves off to the northeast, we get back into the dry slot, or the area where the drier air moves in around the backside of this low pressure system, and the rain moves out. Now, the other thing I want to stress with this system is that dry slot that's moving through. This is a very strong low pressure system, and there is a lot of sinking dry air coming in behind it and wrapping around that low. And that is going to produce very high wind behind, just around that line, the time the line comes through, and behind it. And these are the maximum expected wind gusts across the area during the day tomorrow. Pardon me. Fighting what everybody else is fighting here as well with the time of year. So we are looking for maximum wind gusts tomorrow around 55 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour during the morning hours from rush hour, probably actually ramping up before that, but these maximum winds starting around rush hour or just after and through the morning hours, and it won't start really starting to diminish to just very gusty until the afternoon. These wind gusts, with the amount of rain that we have had, even without thunderstorms going on while these are going on, I do expect that we're going to see some trees come down. I think weak fences may come down. I do expect some power outages. So you want to make sure that your devices are being charged tonight. It is quite possible tomorrow morning that we're going to see a fair amount of power outages and trees down because of all the rain that we have had. The ground is saturated, and if you put some 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts through some of these trees that are just barely starting to leaf out, some of those are going to come down. So consider that tomorrow. It is going to be very windy as you take off in the morning. That wind will be coming out of the southwest, shifting to the west in the afternoon. Keep that in mind. Tie down anything. Actually, just bring it in. Tie it down. Whatever you need to do outside. Some people are going to lose their trampoline tomorrow, and your neighbors off to your east or northeast are going to find that in their backyard flipped over. So please be careful going out there. If you are a early morning rush hour area time frame large vehicle driver, put your both hands on that wheel and hold on tight, because this is something that we have not seen in quite some time. We've had some gusty winds on the backside of storms over the last few weeks, but we have not seen 50 to 55 or 60 mile an hour wind gusts. So please be prepared for that. In addition to the severe weather threat that we have, you're just going to want to be prepared for all of this as we head in. I do think most of the nighttime hours are going to be pretty good for the immediate Memphis metro, but those showers and thunderstorms will start moving in after 3 or 4 a.m., and we'll see that line in the around the rush hour time frame, and very strong winds throughout the morning, and then diminishing a little bit in the afternoon. They should settle down pretty good once we get to sunset tomorrow night. So be ready for all of that. It will be much cooler. We'll start off the morning around the low 60s, and I expect there'll be temperatures dropping through the 50s during the day, and then we look for a pretty good weekend. So hope you all enjoy that. Stay safe tonight. Make sure that you are following us on social media, Twitter and Facebook at MemphisWeather.net. Download the Stormwatch Plus app and make sure that's configured and ready. That will give you your severe weather alerts, and you'll be able to get those along with smartphone alerts through wireless emergency, NOAA weather radio, TV and radio, and so forth. So everybody be safe and have a good night.